Hello students, I believe that everything is well and fine. And I think that you may have completed the exercises that have been attached. And today let us learn something about national movements during the Second World War. On the basis of the Government India Act 1935, the election was being held and the Congress has formed the ministries in majority of the provinces. As the Viceroy involved India in the Second World War without the consult of the central legislature and the provincial government, Congress resigned the ministries in December 1939. At this, the Muslim League became jubilant. And the Muslim League planned to observe a day of deliverance on 22nd December 1939. The resignation of the Congress ministries was perhaps a serious tactical blunder. Thus, throughout the war period, Congress was out of the power. Naturally, the British government took full advantage of the situation. In the Roundtable Conference, it was taken for granted that the main communities, particularly the Hindus and Muslims, would represent the provincial ministries. But after the spectacular victory, Congress did not accommodate any other group like Muslim League in any ministry. This became an important issue in the United Provinces when Congress assumed office. Congress offered 2 seats to Muslim League on certain conditions which the Muslim League rejected outright. The Muslim community felt that they had no political future so long as the Congress was in power. The Muslim League then accused Congress for discrimination against the minorities. Muslim League then appointed a committee to collect information on the subject. The report contained a long list of charges against the Congress. Thus, throughout the 27 months of the Congress rule in provinces, Muslim League carried on intense anti-Congress propaganda. Other Muslim organizations also published similar reports. Muslim League then started a program of consistent propaganda of Congress atrocities on Muslims in the Congress-ruled provinces. To give some tactical support to the propaganda, Muslim League formed the Pirpur Commission headed by Nawab of Pirpur. The report seemed to have presented a false report about Congress communalism and atrocities on the Muslim people. A supplementary of the Pirpur report, Sharif report, also came out with a charge of Congress atrocities on Muslims. Let us see now the Lahore session of the Muslim League in 1940. For a quiet time, a section of Muslim intelligentsia nourished the idea of a separate independent Muslim states in India. The well-known Urdu poet Muhammad Iqbal first conceived the idea of a separate Muslim state. He presided over the Allahabad session of the Muslim League in 1930, where he demanded for a creation of Muslim state, namely Northwest Muslim state. But from the context of his speech, it became clear that Iqbal actually wanted recognition of a Muslim majority areas in the northwestern India, not the partition of India into an autonomous unit within Indian Federation. A group of Muslim students of Cambridge, led by Rahmat Ali, propagated the idea of the Muslim delegates who took part in the Roundtable Conference. They included the province of Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, Kashmir, Sindh and Balochistan for a separate Muslim state. The name of the proposed state would be Pakistan. Taking the initial letters of those provinces and the last syllable of the Balochistan. But this idea did not influence the Muslim leaders during this period. No one took this seriously at that time. But after the 1937 election, the situation changed. In the meantime, Muhammad Ali Jinnah came back from London and took charge of the Muslim League. Jinnah now felt that the Muslim League had no influence among the common Muslim people because it was dominated by rich and elite people. Jinnah now started campaign to popularize the League among the Muslim masses. Side by side, Muslim League started a strong campaign against Congress, which was shown to have represented Hindu Raj and hostile to the Muslim people. He also propagated that Congress was a Hindu body and held Gandhiji responsible for turning the Congress into an instrument for revival of Hinduism. When the Congress ministries resigned in 1939, the Muslim League observed December 22, 1939, the day of deliverance, and expressed relief that the Congress regime had at last came to an end. Gradually it became clear that the Muslim would resist any political settlement imposed on them against their will. The Prime Ministers of Punjab, Bengal, Assam and the leaders of the Muslims in the Congress ruled provinces now rallied under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. In 1940, at the Lahore session, Jinnah came up with his two-nation theory. He declared that in India, democracy based on majority rule would not be workable. He pointed out that the Muslims were not a minority but a separate nation. Thus, Hindu-Muslim were two nations because they were different people. They were different economically, politically, socially, culturally, and even historically. The Muslim League then adopted a resolution known as Lahore Resolution, in which a separate homeland for Muslims had been demanded. Thus, Jinnah's cry for Pakistan created such a peculiar psychosis among the followers that they blindly believed that in independent India, Muslim would be in a position of minority. So Jinnah demanded that the partition on the basis of two-nation theory was the only solution of this problem. Congress strongly opposed the idea and took their stand on the basis of Indian nationality. The demand of the Muslim League ultimately led to the creation of Pakistan in 1947. With the outbreak of the Second World War, the situation in India suddenly changed. On the issue, the Congress ministry resigned from all Congress-ruled provinces. In spite of this, both Gandhiji and Jawaharlal Nehru expressed their willingness to support the British government because it was a struggle between fascism and democracy. The non-Congress ministries of Punjab, Bengal and Sindh extended the support to Britain. The Indian native states also stood behind the government. Among the political parties, the National Liberal Federation and the Hindu Mahasabha also decided to support the government. Muslim League High Command was not willing to support the Britain, but it did nothing to prevent the minorities of Punjab and Bengal from doing so. Now let us learn something about the August offer of 1940. The reply of the government came through the Viceroy of Lord Linlithgow, and on August 8, 1940, the Congress proposal for provincial national government was turned down. The Viceroy's suggestions were: first, the Dominion status would be granted to India after the end of the war. A Constituent Assembly would be summoned to draft a new constitution. The interest and the rights of the Muslim would be safeguarded by the said constitution. The government would never agree to a constitution which did not enjoy the support of the Muslim League and the other minorities. Few nominated Indian members would be included in the expanded Viceroy's Legislative Council, and a war advisory committee would be formed by inclusion of native rulers to aid and advise the government. So let us see what are the August offer. These all the offer that was presented by the government, above said the 5 points, are known as August offer. But it was rejected by the Congress on the following grounds. There was no suggestion for provincial national government, and it encouraged anti-Congress forces like the Muslim League. On the other hand, the Muslim League remained firm on the demand for Pakistan. Now it became clear to the Congress that the British government would not change or modify its policy. Ultimately, at the Ramgarh Congress in May 1940, Gandhiji agreed to launch civil disobedience. But this would be individual satyagraha by volunteers personally selected by Gandhiji for this purpose. They would offer anti-war speeches only. Acharya Vinoba Bhave was selected by Gandhiji to start the Satyagraha on 17th October 1940. Prominent leaders, including Nehru and Vallabhbhai, were arrested before they could offer Satyagraha. The movement could not achieve much because of its limited nature, and the movement was ultimately withdrawn in December 1941. Dear students, we are already seeing the struggle of independence against the Britishers. We want to get a freedom from the Britishers, so we formed the National Congress by all the group of Indian people, and because of the unity, Britishers themselves began to bring some other ideas of communalism in Indian scene. Therefore, India began to be gradually in the clutches of the political and the religious people as the narrow-minded people of India. That's why the communalism was given more strength in Indian scene. Therefore, we are saying that Muslim League as well as Hindu Mahasabha was already giving cut their power into the scene of India. Again, we are saying that Muslim League began to be struggle against or fought against National Congress and began to be defaming them, even though the Muslim League, especially Muslim League in the Indian Act, in the election, they failed completely. So they realized that they have to do something among the people, and also by working among the people, they tried to criticize the provincial government very badly. And instead of supporting them, they began to bring out some of the ideas of the two-nation theory or a Muslim as a minority, and they will need a separate country as their own. These all the things we have seen clearly. And also we have seen that when this was being happening and the provincial government was being during the Second World War, the British government take the India the side of the Second World War. Therefore, the provincial government, the Congress and the government resigned from it. So it was the support for this government as well as Muslim League to improve their power among the people and politically as well as economically or socially and culturally. We have seen all other things. And even though we know that we expected many things from the government during the Second World War, and the government, even the government was not ready to do anything, they bring with an August offer. Again, they realize that the government is not ready to modify, neither change their stance. So India started with another movement. And when this movement was in progress, gradually the war cabinet member Cripps came to India with his proposals. Let us see what is the proposal of Cripps. In the meantime, the war situation became very critical. As occupying Poland, Belgium, Holland, Norway and France, Germany attacked Russia on 22nd June 1941. Having joined the Axis powers, Japan made a sudden attack on the American fleet at Pearl Harbor. Japan soon captured Philippines, Indochina, Indonesia, Malaya, Burma and marched towards Assam. Thus they brought the war to India's doorstep. The British army was facing defeat after defeat in Southeast Asia. There were pressure on Britain from Russia, America and China to reconsider their Indian policy so that Indians could cooperate with the British against Japan's attack. The British government was now in a desperate condition for seeking the cooperation of the Indians in the war effort. The government decided to send Sir Stafford Cripps, a member of the war cabinet, to India after the fall of Rangoon to the Japanese. Cripps came to India on 22nd March 1942 and started discussions with the representative of Congress, Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, the Harijans and native rulers and liberals. He announced the proposal in the form of a draft declaration on 30th March 1942. Let us see what are the proposal of Cripps. First, Dominion status will be granted Indian immediately after the end of the war with the right to secede from the British Commonwealth. Second one, immediately after the war, a constitution-making body would be set up. It would be consist of members from British India as well as the native states. Third one, the constitution so framed after the war would be adopted by the British governor on condition that any Indian province, if desired, could remain outside Indian Union and negotiate directly with the British government. Finally, the actual control of defense and military operations during the war period would be retained by the British government. Even though Sir Stafford Cripps had given so many proposals or presented so many proposals before the Congress and other political parties, let us know what were the reaction of the Congress and the other political parties. The Congress rejected the proposal. Congress demanded full independence, but Cripps now offered Dominion status, which the Congress had already rejected in 1930. Secondly, the proposal wanted to create a cleavage by providing that any province could opt out of the Indian Federal Constitution. It was an indirect indication toward the formation of Pakistan. Thirdly, the Indian native states were also given the right to secede from the Indian Union. Fourthly, the Congress proposal for forming a war council with the Indian leaders was denied. Fifthly, all proposals were to be implemented in future. So Congress did not rely on the future promises. Gandhiji condemned the proposal as a post-dated check on a crashing bank. That means he had shown that the government is going to collapse, and after the Second World War, nobody knows what would be the condition of the British. So the people of the Congress was not at all ready to accept the promises for a future. Muslim League rejected the proposal because this did not ensure Pakistan and 50-50 seat for the Muslim League with the Congress in interim government. Moreover, the declaration had not recognized separate electorate in the constitution making body. The Sikhs, the depressed classes, the Indian Christians and Anglo-Indians demanded more safeguard for their own communities. Hence, the Cripps mission failed to pacify the Indians. But in spite of that, the British government through Cripps mission for the first time agreed that Indians should frame their own constitution. After the failure of the Cripps mission, it became clear that the British government was not willing to transfer power to Indian people. The failure of the Cripps mission further sharpened Congress hostility towards the British. The arrival of Japan to India's eastern frontier aroused among the Congress mixed feeling of fear and hope. There was an apprehension that India might meet the fate of Malaya and Burma and Japan would be the new imperialist. Nehru's anti-British attitude did not condemn Japan's aggression. Underneath the fear was the hope that Japan might liberate India from the British. This was partially born of hostility toward the British and partially of the assurance given by the General Tojo, the Prime Minister of Japan, and the Indian leader Subhash Chandra Bose. Tojo had proclaimed India for Indians. Subhash Chandra Bose had already escaped from India to Berlin in January 1941 and then to Tokyo and Singapore. He assured the Indians from the Azad Hind Radio, Germany, 1942, that Japan had no design on India. Wrapped in this mood of frustration, hostility, fear, and hope, Congress looked towards Gandhiji for guidance. Gandhiji had lost all his faith on British government and now wanted an all-out attempt to compel the British authority to withdraw from India. His viewpoint was that the presence of the British in India is an invitation to Japan to invade India. The removal removes the bait. Except Raja Gopalachari, all other Congress leaders accepted Gandhiji's viewpoint. Only Raja Gopalachari wanted to accept Crisp's proposals and the principle of Pakistan. He did not agree with the Gandhiji and tendered to resignation from the Congress. Dear students, in order to understand your online classes in a better way, I have added a few more assignments. Please do it on a separate notebook, which will be checked later when you reopen the school. Till then, stay home, stay safe. See you.